Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Had a bunch of people send me this story, including the Institute for Justice, and it's been covered by other media outlets. So what I'm about to talk to you was both on NBC. Kevin Collier wrote a story about it, and the Institute for Justice also sent out a press release involving it. And you can read the entire story about this case, including the pleadings, at ij.org. But we talked before about those surveillance cameras that cities are putting up all over the place. And in Norfolk, Virginia, there are cameras. And the Institute for Justice has filed a federal lawsuit against the city over its prolonged, warrantless surveillance of the entire driving public. So 2 people are involved in this. Lee Schmidt and Crystal Arrington live in and around Norfolk, Virginia. Like most ordinary people, they've got daily routines: work, church, trips to the store, visiting family, school pickups, and so on. And like most regular people, they don't like the thought of somebody following them around and watching their entire move. Now, the cameras aren't following them, but the cameras are, as we say, ubiquitous. They're everywhere. So when you go around in that town, the cameras are recording what you're doing and taking note. So in 2023, the city installed over 172 cameras around town. These are not your standard traffic cameras. They are strategically placed to capture everybody's daily travel. Straight up surveillance. Set to watch 24/7 as people go about their lives. As the police chief explained, it would be difficult to drive anywhere, any distance, without running into a camera somewhere. The cameras snap photos of every car as they go by and then uploads the photo and other information such as where it was taken, when it was taken, all that, into a database. Officials can then use this database to go back in time and create maps of where people have been, where they go, who they meet with, and all of this happens, of course, without a warrant and of not even probable cause. So the Fourth Amendment does not allow the government to set up a surveillance state. If the city wants to track suspicious people, it can do what the police have always done in the past, and that is get a warrant. What the city can't do, though, is just watch ordinary people everywhere they go and create a record of their lives without any judicial oversight. So Lee and Crystal, with the help from the Institute for Justice, have filed a lawsuit to do what they can about this. Now, Lee is a retired veteran. He wanted to know more about the license plate cameras tracking him. So he sued along with Crystal, and he got an interesting answer. 170 odd cameras across the city logged his location 526 times between February 19th and July 2nd. And that's according to a court filing, and it boils down to about 4 times a day. So chances are he's not traveling every single day. But on average, if you just looked at the number of photographs with the data that they have about him, it would be 4 times a day for that entire stretch. He told NBC it's a crazy high number. It was shocking. The creepiness level just went straight up. Those, of course, are Flock safety cameras. A company that's grown swiftly in recent years now bills itself as the largest public-private safety network. Public-private. Founded in 2017, Flock offers a wide range of data-gathering surveillance equipment, including drones, audio gunshot detectors, and body-worn video cameras for police officers, which can then be combined with the company's software products that include everything from searchable databases to real-time maps. So the co-plaintiff here is a healthcare worker who lives nearby. She was surveilled even more. Her location was logged, and again, photographs and data, 849 times between February 19th and July 3rd, averaging more than 6 times a day. So the Institute for Justice has filed a lawsuit as part of their plate privacy project. Think about license plates. Plate privacy project. I would try to explain to you what a license plate is, but I'm not sure I could do it unless I had something that would, illustrate it or something. So they're trying to protect people from this type of warrantless mass surveillance. And I've had people ask me, and they say, Steve, I'm just curious. This is happening. How does this hurt you? Does it hurt you when someone takes your picture? Do you think they're stealing your soul? No. They're just gathering tons of information about everyone. And the question is, what do they do with that information? Can the police just rifle through it whenever they want to? Can other entities rifle through it whenever they want to? Can the city share that information with another city? Can the city share the information with someone else? Who controls this data? And we live in a society now where the information of ours is bought and sold. And now, I'm not saying that they're buying and selling your data, but it's already happening at other places. So, you own property? Do you have a driver's license? Guess what the state does with your driver's license data in most states? Guess what happens to the information involving your real estate transactions in most states? Have you ever moved to a new location and shortly after you move in, you start getting stuff addressed to you at your new address before you filled out the change of address forms? Or from people that you've never communicated with before? Somehow they have your name and your address. Where'd they get that from? Oh, it turns out that there's different government agencies that gather up information and then they sell the information or they make it available to people. And they've been doing this for a long time. Now, I've had people say, Steve, complain about that. I've been complaining about that. The problem is they sell it to make money with it. And so I think the very act of simply putting cameras everywhere and recording everything that happens, I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. I would not want to live in a town that does that. If I lived in a town that did do that, I would complain about it. I would do what I could to push back against it. But I think it's wrong. Is it an absolute violation of the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or the Third Amendment? I just think it's wrong. But the interesting point is they're pointing out that it could be a violation of the Fourth Amendment because the government is supposed to have probable cause or a warrant to search and seize and so on. And so the question is, they don't have that here. They're just filming everyone. And again, it's not just a photograph of your car's license plate. It's a photograph of your vehicle with the license plate and the date, the time, where it was going. Because if it goes by here, well, they know it started here and went there. It's presumably going there. And all the other data that goes along with it. And they've got all that data. And there was a time when 20, 30 years ago, people would say, oh, that doesn't make any sense. That would be impossible to store all that data. Turns out now that's not a limitation. It's not a limitation. It turns out they store all kinds of data. And yeah, it's data about you and me. And I'm not living a life where I'm scared that people might know where I've driven. It's not a matter of, boy, I have to change my lifestyle to get around this. I just don't like it. I don't want to live in a surveillance state. Big Brother. Remember that? You read the book, right? A long time ago? Maybe. So I applaud the Institute for Justice for going after this. And I also applaud Lee Schmidt and Crystal Arrington because Lee Schmidt, he was filmed, 500 some odd times. And Crystal, 800 some odd times, 849 times. And just everywhere they're going, photographs being taken of them, data being recorded, where'd they go, where are they going, where'd they come back from, when did they go by there? What were they doing that? So I applaud them and the Institute for Justice. And like I said, the story is widely reported, and the Institute for Justice is a nonprofit that takes on constitutional law issues, especially on behalf of people who couldn't afford to do it otherwise, because these guys, the Institute for Justice, are prepared to go as far as necessary to get these things straightened out. So Kevin Collier wrote a story about this from NBC. Institute for Justice has this on their own website. I will put a link to them in the description below the video. If you can support them, whether moral support, financial support, do whatever you can. But the Norfolk, Virginia camera surveillance program has been challenged in court, and we will see what happens. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. You were born an original. Don't die a copy.